Looks like we are live. Greetings,
Yay.
everyone. All right. Thank you for joining us on Rumble as well. I'm Rising Phoenix Aurora, and this is beautiful Ora Zikara. And this is our Reseeding Eating Show, which we are co-hosts to, and we are on episode 5. Such an honor. Wow, to know that we've been doing this 5 months already. It just seems incredible, right?
Crazy.
So we are so honored to be here from our world in the Americas to the world of, where Aura is at in Europe, Asia. So thank you. Such incredible topics we're going to be covering today. So thank you for being here with us. Love you, honor you, respect you. I offer courses, sessions, and I'm an author. So go check out all of that under my website, risingphoenixaurora.com. And we also have Gina both on Rumble and on TikTok, keeping track of your questions. So do write your questions and we'll ensure to answer them for you. But Aura, say hi, love.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be on again. And yeah, the fifth show already. I honestly can't believe how
Yeah.
quick the time is going. I think when we last spoke, we were talking about how we're going into the fire horse soon, and we were all really excited. And now we're officially in the fire horse, and we're very close to actually the official start of the zodiac new year as well. So big changes, big energies. If you haven't met me before, I'm Ora Zikara. I'm founder for the Great Light Garden, and that's really a wellness and spiritual school where you can basically learn how to embody your highest self within the vessel. So it's a lot about spiritual practices, how to eat healthy, how to overcome addictions, how to really clear and clean the vessel and really walk the spiritual path embodied. And so I've got courses on there. They're very much live courses where we together for 7 weeks would be teaching and learning about spiritual embodiment and actually walking the path of going from feeling unclear, feeling disconnected, feeling like you just need a shift in your life, to then feeling clear, feeling connected, feeling shifted, and having this, having a better energy, really. Um, the shifts, reseeding Eden, it starts within first. And so the wellness school is all about that. I do one-on-one sessions as well. And of course, you can follow us on our socials if you wanted to learn more about what we teach. I'm also a member of Rising Phoenix Aurora's Mystery School. And let me tell you, this school is literally, it's when I joined it, before I joined it, I was kind of thinking like, what could be in this school that I haven't seen on her videos? Because she's got thousands of videos online that are filled with so much great content. And then it's like the school's like next level stuff that is really empowering, really enlightening, really awakening and activating. And it's all again putting it into like a physical practice. It's the real literal stuff of what can I do to make my energy better, protect myself, and radiate light and reseed Eden. So I would definitely advise you guys to go and look on there as well. I was just watching the Philadelphia experiment video earlier today, which was something else.
Something else
So
for sure. Next level.
yeah,
Uh,
seriously.
yeah.
And what
Beautiful.
I
Thank you,
thought,
Aura.
yeah, I mean, if you guys don't know, I've labeled our TikTok this today, but Rising Phoenix Aurora's just landed down on Antarctica and
I
she's just been
did.
back from a trip. She's got her books here, so she's literally got a book where she was remote viewing Antarctica and telling us all the secrets about what exists beyond the ice walls. And then she's literally just gone and been in real life.
Sure have.
Yeah,
Quite incredible. So
yeah.
yeah, that's beyond the ice walls of Antarctica, the lost cities of Tartaria. It's such an incredible read. Most people who pick it up can typically, some people get it done in one day because they can't put it down.
Mhm.
And I ask them, how do you use the restroom and how do you eat? And they're like, while I'm doing it, while I'm reading at the same time. But
Yeah.
it's so incredible. You can find it on the Barnes and Noble and Amazon. And yeah, so I have 115 116 videos now of Antarctica, Tartaria, which is this book series. And so it is truly an honor to have been able to land in Antarctica. We talk about the different worlds and how we explain, like, okay, Ora Zikara is literally for real in a different world. In each world is a dragon, a giant dragon. So, and I'm in a different world in North America, right? The United States. But even when you transition into so every big body of land is a different world. So even South America, where I had to go through to get to Antarctica, is another world again. So it's next level though when you reach the Antarctica lands. It is the Drake's Passageway is a literal way that you have to acclimate your energy and recalibrate we further basically crystallize your vessel. I think depending on who's going, you will experience a different world, because Antarctica has been so targeted by the military and the Antarctica Treaty that they have since 1959. Because of that, there was an inverted matrix that if people are dense and they would be crossing over, they would vibrate to that. But the deeper you go, according again, my book, you go deeper in and closer to the crystalline energy at the edge. You then have to lift in vibration and be a matching vibration to the crystalline energy. So at the very tip though of Antarctica, as you read and watch our videos, there's a lot of artificial intelligence, which has kept the ice walls frozen and the water frozen, which this water is very special. It's 5-dimensional water that is supposed to be unthawed so that we can regain our memory and get that crystallization back to our vibration and our frequency. Yeah.
Someone on TikTok is saying that the moon is a mini map of our physical plane, and this is actually something that you do teach and cover in your mystery school. So what is that map called? Because I know you use a lot of different ancient maps, old maps, that have, I would call it like the flat Earth model, but really it's like the flat plane with the Antarctic ice wall and land outside the ice wall as well, which you can see in the reflection of the moon. You can see our small part, and then beyond that, you can see there's so much more land. So what is that map called? Guys, if you're on TikTok, it is, she's sharing it on Rumble now.
On Rumble, I am, yeah.
Yeah.
So there isn't quite a name for it because they don't have it named. The reason why is because it's unarchived Adolf Hitler information. So it's all written in German. I had it translated. Now there's rumors, there's always been rumors, but they're actually true, where this civilization, Germany, was exploring out these lands. So you guys are looking at it now. So it's really incredible. In the last about 1.5 episodes, we've gone into this map because we have students, members of our school, Rising Phoenix Mystery School Wellness Center, who are German speaking, so they're able to translate and go into this data. It's quite incredible. Now that we've completed it, we just completed it yesterday, actually, the translation live on our mystery school. That's the extra sensitive series if you guys want to check it out, which also Ora mentioned of the Philadelphia experiment. So what's really amazing here is that the whole theory of being moons, this actually does tell you that there is 2 moons, at least in these 2 worlds, but we know that all the lands connect through the water, and the water goes on to many worlds. Parallel Earths are basically the many worlds, and many Earths are big masses of lands that are their own embodiments, and they're floating all in water connected. Okay. But what's really beautiful here is, this is covered, is that it explains the eclipses on the outside. So we know that February 17, the year of the fire horse, unicorn, came in, and that there was a total eclipse. And of course, I was standing on a volcano in Antarctica during that moment when it came in. You can't get more epic than that, I think.
Yeah.
And but I realized that this explains the moon and how eclipses really create. So in Antarctica ring. Whenever you see like eclipses happening in the outer rim of the Antarctica lands, what happens is that both Mercury and Venus are actually causing the shadow in that moon out there that we don't get to see, or that sun out there. So this map explains how that works. I mean, it even goes into like the crystalline dome and the dimensions there. Yeah, it's really good. So yeah, there's not quite a name for it, but we do know that it was basically Adolf Hitler and Germany's map that has come to the surface.
There is another map that you also reference a lot. I'm going to try and find the name because I searched
The
it.
Urbano Monte.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
it. So if anyone's watching on TikTok, how do you spell that, do you know, or shall I just read, shall I find out?
Urbano
So,
Monte. It's
yeah,
Urbano
yeah.
Monte. I think it's
M,
Italian.
yeah, Monte.
TE.
I wonder what Monte actually translates into. What?
I wonder too. Maybe
Mm,
Gina's listening. Maybe she could tell us if she figures that out for us.
yeah, but that
Yeah.
one's the reason, guys, and why it's so interesting looking at the old maps is because of the megalithic or like the mythical creatures that you find on these maps and the different lands and the names of these lands. There was one you were pointing out in near Antarctica, like a Magdalene passage or something that
There
was
is.
between South America and Antarctica. And
Yeah.
they our ancestors, the ascended masters, they would travel back and forth between these different realms.
I love that you just pointed that out
Hmm.
because actually I just had an Aura practitioner. She's helping me out read the books that I found, Tartarian books that I found from 1800s and 1900s.
Hmm.
One of them is that Magdalene voyage. No joke. Just turned it in last night to me, and it's an
Wow.
entire doc of going through. And it is what he's doing is actually they make it seem like he's voyaging kind of like south, but
Hmm.
he's voyaging actually the whole Antarctica rim circle.
Okay. Okay. And what would be the purpose in doing that?
Well, let me see. I could try to find the data. I haven't fully gone over it, just skimmed through it. Um,
Because like what it reminds me of is say when you go to a stone circle and you feel called to walk in a certain direction and like circle it round, like either clockwise or anti-clockwise, and it can either charge up or pull out kind of thing. Whether it would be any reason that they're circling lands to go with this flow, this current of energy or something, and to charge themselves up or have some kind of a spiritual, like Kundalini ascension or something through utilizing the energy currents.
yes, yes. I think there'd be very powerful energy currents going around the bottom south of the circle around our lands. It's a meeting point. It's also, I mean, it's pretty powerful that he did that because it'd be very powerful energy. It's like it's a type of crystallizing energy, like the Drake's passageway into
Yeah,
Antarctica. So the fact that he survived that is pretty incredible.
yeah. You survived it as well, that Drake's passageway. I've
I
seen
survived it.
videos like when you said you went to Antarctica, I was like, there is no way. I was like, do actually normal people go to Antarctica? And then I was like, well, the Aurora is not normal.
Yeah, yeah, there's cruises though. There's cruises, there's different companies. I
Wow.
mean, it's a lot of money, but yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely have to save a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Most
yeah.
people, it's like on their bucket list for their entire life and they finally do it.
And so I'm going to
Yeah.
assume that you went on a mission because of the portal of the lunar eclipse, was it? And it's a good place to be to really anchor in the new light for the new year.
Yeah, factually, these cruises get sold out like right away. So I
Hmm.
mean, honestly, I didn't even know there was going to be an eclipse there. One of the Aura practitioners actually was her guidance because she's been, reading our books and was this is on her bucket list. So she started it off, And then we actually just found out maybe a couple of months prior that there was going to be eclipse there, and we're like, oh my
Wow.
God, this is going to be epic.
Yeah.
And it turns out that it was like the second to last day that we were there standing, and we just made it on time to be there for that
Wow.
eclipse. Yeah.
That's so cool. Someone on here is saying that the sun and moon are nodes. They're basically portals.
Yes.
Um,
They're portals. Yeah. We talk about that definitely. And if you're on Rumble, to answer Aura's question, you saw the Urbano Monte map, right?
yeah.
So, do you remember in the Urbano Monte map how they're more circular? And I think that map is from 1570s. And see how he's going at the edge only. So if you were to make this into a circle like the Urbano Monte map, he's really just traveling the outer waters, lands of Antarctica, which
Right.
makes you question Australia. Is Australia Antarctica? Why is it not in some of the older maps? It's because this is why I question Australia and New Zealand being part of Antarctica. Because all of these lands are supposed to be stretched out. They make them look like fatter and chubbier, you know?
Yeah.
But they're really stretched out like the Urbano Monte map.
Yeah.
But for example, yeah, here I'll show you really quick. The Urbano Monte map, if you're on Rumble, this here is the bottom of Argentina. This is called Tierra de Fuego. They, in my recent video, I covered it. They make it seem like it's a little island off the edge, but here in Urbano Monte map, it's an entire land.
Yeah.
See that? So it makes me question, where is Australia here, you know, and because you can't really find Australia here in our Monte map. What are they're lying to us about, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that that island you had to visit before going to Antarctica. You mentioned that there
Yeah.
was like a history where it became almost a prison island where they would send prisoners, and that's supposedly the history of Australia as well, is that
Exactly.
so it's like, what are they doing sending these people to these places? And is there something more going on?
Well, I think at this point, I mean, we could definitely confirm that Australia is part of the Antarctica, is Antarctica, and the indigenous people there. They're really strong, but you know, they've also been part of the you know, indoctrination that happened with religion there. And exactly, so why do they have the same story? So the only way to occupy them, according to them, you know, the
Yeah.
Dark Lords, was to put a bunch of prisoners there, and that the first occupants to both of these islands, yes, were prisoners. You know, taken. So most of them weren't even bad guys; they were just taken randomly and thrown there as prisoners, just because. So sounds like there's some more collective energy there that needs to be resurfaced to start
Yeah.
healing these lands furthermore.
What if they purposely put prisons there to make people not want to go to those locations because they were the key spots where you could easily cross over to Antarctica?
Yeah.
You know, like I've seen a lot of like megaliths in the UK, they'll call them horrible names like the Devil's Pit or something, but actually it's like a really powerful energetic portal and ley line. And they name these things sometimes to make people too scared to go to them because then you'll avoid it. But actually, it's somewhere where you could get some good light and bring in the light from like the gods and goddesses in the heavens to start activating and awakening the people and activating the earth more.
Yeah, great insights on that, Aura. I agree. I think that they are, but absolutely to what you said, but also it was a form of curse. It's like they targeted these two lands, these two islands, like Australia and Usea Island, Tierra de Fuego. And there is a factual spot where it says it's the end of the world. Like you go on a train ride and you reach the end of the world. And beyond this ocean, you don't know where it's at. You're like
Yeah.
literally at the end of the world, for real. Yeah, so that was pretty epic. So what's oh yeah, that's it's pretty big to understand Australia now in this way. And so then it's a curse to start, basically it was a form of curse to start icing the walls. And then these different things that happen to us collectively, we don't remember it. We fall asleep and we wake up the next day, we don't remember it because, like, say, a inverted or a denser kind of situation densified the world. So when everyone signed the 1959 Antarctica Treaty, when were these walls iced? They weren't iced so much. They weren't iced in 1940s when World War II was happening because they were traveling into them. You know, they might have had some ice, but not to the extent that we had in by the time the treaty came on. So it's like icing the people's minds and their consciousness through these eyesight perimeter wings of the dragons. You ice them, then you dumbify the people and you keep their consciousness more asleep so that you could control them, and that's their initial goal there. It's a curse.
I think when you freeze things, the atoms do slow down.
They completely they completely freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stay in stagnant state of being.
So you consciously and physically, the colder you are or the more you're in that freeze state, everything's moving slower, including your like brain fog and your cognitive awareness. And so it sounds like they've cursed those lands to try and start creating a negative energy and like trauma there, and that is then allowing for the energy to stay low enough to hold the ice walls in frozen state, as well as AI technology doing it too.
Yeah, yeah. And then keeping us contained inside of here, the tried imprisonment that we don't consent to.
So we was just talking before we came on this call because I was saying that there's a lot going on in the world, and I would love for us to bring some hope and peace and help share with everyone that the future is so bright and brilliant,
Yeah,
and we all have to do our own work still. It's not like, hey, everyone, let's just have a party. We're all good. But I would love for us to share some of the positive, exciting things that are going on in the world, maybe some of the positive news that people don't realize is going on that we could
yeah,
help people understand more, that even though things can seem chaotic, actually it's all part of things coming to light, and that we're actually in this great awakening, this amazing ascension. There's a lot of people actually who are only just starting their awakening now. So do you have anything that you could or want to share about what's going on or what we're in for over the next, say, few years that people can feel good about?
absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Um, uh, Before I go into that, a technical thing, I forgot to record. Are you recording this? I could get a recording
It,
later of
it
this.
automatically records on there, yeah.
Okay. All right. So you'll send that to me. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the year of the fire horse is upon us. It came in with an eclipse, guys. I mean, when's the last time you can remember that there was an eclipse? I can't remember. Maybe Gina, you could look it up. Has there ever been an eclipse on a Chinese New Year or even New Year? I don't think there has been, which tells you that that is very good news
Yeah.
because we can, if we vibrate to a pure love light as best as possible to the unicorn horse, and the minute that you see that horse riding and or you're riding the horse or you see them running, you it's an instant moment, right? So being more in the moment is going to be really powerful because that is going to help you like move so fast. And if you tap into a unicorn, you can most definitely have a unicorn friend, magical creature. Since I do past life regression, this is for real. There are magical creatures in the 5-dimensional earths and on. We're not just happy rainbow unicorn people. Some people are unicorns in other past life, future, higher dimensional energies. And earth is originally 5D, 5-dimensional crystalline energy, which means that she naturally has all the magical creatures here. It's just that us who are in the 3D, 4D world that cannot quite see them in crystalline form yet because we're not there yet. So just tap into the magic, know that it is there. Think about like when you walk, you're kind of slow, but if you're riding a horse, think about how fast you can go. So everything should be hopefully easier for you if you're matching vibration to the lightest possible being frequency that you could be. And then you should be, just soaring as fast as a unicorn or horse to what you want to achieve, your goals, manifesting, creating, healing, whatever you put your mind to, just ride that unicorn, the rainbow rays, and get yourself there.
Hmm. One of the things, the unicorns, you can find them, you can tap into them anywhere really, but where I feel their presence a lot is, say, in woodland areas and in nature, is just like finding them there. And I was tuning in to working with like different ways of healing using plants and things like that the other day, and I got guided that you can literally just go into the forest, or you can go and find certain plants that you know are healing, like nettles. Stinging nettles is one in the UK that people will forage, and they'll use it for things like arthritis and stuff like that. And I was guided that what we can actually do is you can go and sit amongst some growing nettles. You don't have to pick them, and it's probably better you don't, because like dogs can wee on them, and you don't know if they're clean or anything. And obviously they are their own living plant, but you can go and sit beside them in nature, and you can speak to them and say like, "Hi, nettles, like thank you so much for your grace on this earth. I need help with arthritis. I've got pain. Would you be able to help me heal this?" And on an energetic level, these plant spirits can they can help you like do the energy work needed to pull out the pain, to give you the energetic frequency that that plant would give you on a physical level. They can do it energetically. And so if you feel like you need grounding for anxiety, or you actually do have physical pain, or you have feeling low or depressed or anything, getting out in nature and even speaking to the plants, to the unicorns, to the nature spirits, and calling upon them and asking them for help with your healing or help with feeling more peaceful or grounded could be a really great way to start, because there's nothing better than just getting out of the grid and going and stepping into nature, and then you can really start to energetically feel Eden, or the true Earth's grid. The beauty and the feeling, the good feelings in nature exists. It already exists. You can tap into it so easy. You just need to know how to kind of tune into the frequency, and also allow yourself to let it in. So that means clearing out any negativity, getting rid of anything that's holding your frequency down, attachments, technology, anything at all, or even just negative habits in your life. Um, and then just start to allow more beauty and light in, because that could really shift you if it is that you are needing some more of that.
Yeah, and I think one of the main reasons why we always feel like so at peace and healed and better the minute we go into nature is because in nature is the only place where we could really tap into the five-dimensional crystalline energy. There it is. She awaits in all nature, life forms, flowers, trees, right? All the herbs. And so then it's a way to say, take a dip into the ocean, but instead you're taking a dip into the five-dimensional energy in the forest. And so much enlightening answers come here because, yeah, you're submerged in a world that is holding the pure five-dimensional crystalline blueprint of Earth, Gaia, Terra. Thank you, beautiful. But you
Yeah,
got
and
some
this,
amazing things happening, Aura, right? You got some beautiful songs. I think you released a new album.
yes, I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
That's exciting. I think we
Some
was
of
just,
those.
yeah, we were talking about it on the last call, and now it's actually out and ready. So
Wow.
yeah, it's called Self Savior EP. You can find it on all the streaming platforms, and also on my website if you wanted to download it. And there's a listening guide with a lyric book. I used to love it when I was younger. I'd buy physical CDs, and you'd always get a little lyric book in the case. And I loved knowing the lyrics that I was singing to. And obviously,
Oh,
it's important to know what you're singing as well if you're going to get songs stuck in your head. So, yeah, that's out. It's all 432. It's all got good lyrics. It's suitable for all ages, although they have labeled one song explicit, but it's because I've got the line in there, is the earth flat? So they've decided that that is too
Wow,
explicit.
that is dangerous,
I know.
dangerous.
But other than
Silly.
that, yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's exciting really. Like I was saying in our previous calls, I pretty much gave up on my passion for singing until I came onto your course, your in-person event. And I wanted to actually share a bit more about these missions that you do, because you do travel around the world. You do missions for bringing reseeding Eden, really, and for bringing in the light. And so these missions, what calls you to do them, and kind of what are you doing as a group on these missions? And say if someone was like, I really want to be making a difference, I want to be fulfilling a purpose and helping in some way, but I don't know like how I'm meant to. How can I help? How can I be a part of the mission? Um, what could people do? Because it's good to be guided by someone who is connected as opposed to just going and doing your own thing sometimes, isn't it?
It is good. There's so much heart discernment to that because as I work with many people, sometimes when you go with groups who are not the highest vibration, highest vibrational, especially if the person who's hosting it, often the person who's hosting it, they're parasitic and you don't realize it. Sometimes you don't realize it till after you've come home and you're like, you got all these, like, there's something wrong with you, you feel off, there's you probably got some bugs, attachments, entities. They use these ways to infringe on you and infringe on the lands. They use the people in their group. So I want to say that very strongly when you're doing that. So think about that, whoever you're with has to be at least a highest vibrational, and they have to be shielded with love, which we've talked about plenty in this series. And then they have to have a pure intention. What is the pure intention? Is it really an intention to heal, or what is the underlining to it? Because often we read when we're in front of someone and they're like, yeah, we're doing this to heal the world and heal Gaia, and they're not really doing that. They're really just there to siphon her energy and violate her energies. A lot of people go to like Machu Picchu or Sedona because they know that they're the sacred chakras of both of these lands, both of these dragons. And they try to siphon and eat and munch on their energy. You should never do that to the land. The land can give you energy and help you recharge, but you never violate and take from her. She gives to you. You understand? You never take, she gives to you. And she will always give to you when in need. Absolutely. That is, the way, viewing her as a body. So that's how we really view her as mother. And I mean, not only like earth, you're also violating mother, the divine mother of creation. And that's our mother of all creation. How you can't do this to her. I mean, that's the most violation ever, I think, to your own mother. So going into it and viewing it like, okay, I have love and I'm here to spread it. And then also asking her, some people just go to locations and they put groups together and they don't even ask her, like, do you want healing? Is this a divine timing to receive healing? That can happen. You can't force anything. You can't force for her to crystallize more, for her to heal more. No, it's just like you, and you have a divine path that you're going through, and she is most definitely ready, but the people on her land, are they ready? Is the collective ready? So she'll tell you, she guides us on where we're meant to go next in every which way. So we have a lot of fun. Currently, I'm doing retreats in Chicago for this year. So you can come join me at the Heart of the Dragon. And in case you don't know, there's Mother North America is the shape of a dragon, which my people have seen it on Rumble over and over. And Chicago, Lake Michigan is the heart of the dragon on the map. So so you come here, but otherwise, if you're an Aura practitioner, you're already certified through the Aura Hypnosis Past Life Regression Entity Removal modality, then you can travel with us, because you do need to know this, because what happens is that when we reach lands there's some attachments, there's violations, there's indigenous people that were killed there, there's, you know, all sorts of dark stuff that happens. And that when you're trying to heal the land, these things first need to be healed and removed for you to actually heal the land, or you're always forever going to be stepping on the bloodshed and the harm that came to the people and the land that soaked it in like a sponge. Because where did all this pain and trauma? Through quantum physics, the earth is retaining all that information wherever that happened. That battle is still happening in that time space in, say, 1700s. It's happening there. Which brings me to, I went to South America, Ora and listeners. They don't know, this is interesting. They don't know that in North America, because I have indigenous roots, you know, because I have my past life memories, right? I started off as a Mayan Atlantean being, then transitioned and was reborn into Shawnee, and then, which is indigenous, and then we had to go down to Mexico to survive. It's a long story. But so these indigenous roots, they bring me, it's easy for me to talk to the land, and she tells me her stories. So when I told them, I was telling them about what happened to the indigenous people in North America, that they were all slaughtered and raped and killed, and the children. The only ones that survived, when the very few, right, that were into reservations, which we know here in America, there's those few reservations that are left. There was millions and millions where you just had maybe a couple hundred left. The rest of us needed to go down to Mexico or Canada. And that's where my ancestors went, to Mexico. But we were originally from North America lands, from the heart of Chicago, the Chicago area. And when I told them that the indigenous people, that's what happened to us, that we were, you know, murdered here, all of us gone, they said, what? Several of the people over there, all the South Americans have no idea that in North America, the indigenous people were killed off.
Wow.
They did not know. No one knew. Whoever I mentioned to, no one knew. They're like, when did this happen? And I'm talking about like historians that are like telling like Machu Picchu stories. And they're like, what? You know? So isn't that interesting?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
They also have made up stories, like we get told in the UK that the Mayans would do like sacrificing each other and human sacrifice and cannibalism and stuff, which is not true, and it's a horrible black magic. It's like basically they're trying to ruin the light that those people had. Do you guys have similar stories as well, where they try and like make out like they were doing terrible things when it's completely wrong what they're saying?
That story is found everywhere. It was even found in
Right.
South America, where they said that the Incas killed their people, and in areas where there's like where there's like passageways, where it looks like maybe like there's waterways that would come out of maybe areas with sacred water. They claim that people were killed there on altars, and then blood. That is everywhere. Unfortunately, from my time space, when the Mayans were there, and we were completely positive there's absolutely no way that we would have been doing that. We were actually, the Mayans were 5-dimensional beings, and all the indigenous people from North America were descendants of them, and they carried forth. Now, were there some dark shamans here and there? Yeah, there were. I mean, there's some, as our Americas densified, there were some dark shamans, and there were some, as they got denser, tribes fighting against each other. That's the thing that happens. And with all the confusion of the density, and they're really, the indigenous people, they were so connected to the land. So if the land is densifying, they're going to have this amplified aggravation that they don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So they could have been fighting against each other, but not in the ways that they say it.
Yeah. So when they taint the land, let's say with all the massacres, and they completely taint the energy of the land in that place, does that energy then block the land from being able to access its true light? And so then it's just constantly not able to really tap into like the true Earth's divine light and grid to heal itself. So we almost have to clear that land to allow the light to come back in.
Exactly. The light cannot come in fully at full potential 5D and higher until you clear that attachment, the pain, the trauma there. Yeah. Which is why we teach through our school the like removing attachments and entities, because whatever's trauma is infringing and blocking your vessel, because it's like, you got meridians and there's something stuck there in your energy. Same for the earth, and then it can't flow. It's
Yeah.
like a dam that's stopped, not allowing for the water to be flowing through you, and it's
Hmm.
causing illness, disease, and so on. But I think earlier we had asked a question about eclipse, and then Gina said that there have never been, as of she could see, any eclipses on Chinese New Year. Now we don't know, the eras that before us, like hundreds
Hmm.
of years, but at least this time around, that seems to be the only one. So it's pretty epic one, you all. So
Yeah.
it should be a big year for us if
Yeah.
we're vibrating to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many planetary alignments and changes as well that people say haven't happened in like 200 years, like thousands of years, these big changes are happening. So we all knew that there was big change happening the past, like since 2012 onwards, we just knew it was going to escalate in the changes and the shifts we're seeing on Earth, but all really positive things, even though it's not obviously great and it's difficult for people who say live in like war zones and things like that, but it's what's coming for us in the future is good, and we've got a really beautiful timeline on the way, for absolute sovereignty and freedom for all the good. Um, so that's at least something positive to look forward to. Um, because obviously there's a lot of things coming up. I'm just reading some. I don't want to just carry on before I just read these comments a
Yeah.
sec, but Sakti was saying she lives in North Lapland. She's really far away, but she would have loved to come on a one of your missions. And she said that she's from Russia, and even they knew that there was a massacre with the indigenous.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad that I'm so happy that they know. And between Russia and Germany, there's so much distortion in history there too, because no
Mm,
one knows that there was a massacre in Germany.
mm-hmm,
In after World War II, they massacred all the German people,
mm-hmm.
and most of them were all killed off. And the ones that were left, they were violated in public. Again, this is not God. This is not benevolence.
Yeah.
That would be very dark forces doing that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's called the Bolsheviks or something, the Bolshevik Revolution or something like that, if anyone wanted
Yeah.
to look into that more. But what seems to be the overall thing is that in the past, this matrix system they had basically gained control over humanity's minds and emotions and energy and hooked us into this false illusionary matrix. And what they tried to do is pull humanity down to be at the level that these evil beings have been at so that they can stay here and stay loosing off our energy. Now
Yeah.
that's ended, like just to put that out there and say we don't consent, and that's not we don't allow that to happen anymore. But people weren't aware of that happening, and they weren't aware that that had really infiltrated pretty much all spaces in modern life in the way that most people live, like it on, say, adverts and TV and programming and the celebrities people look up to, and everywhere you look and go, even down to things like your schools and like your church and like everywhere, even your work, the police everywhere had been infiltrated by these evil beings or energies that do unfathomable things, and they've been trying to make others do the same to try and get off lightly with the karma. Now, that's why we're finding out about like the Epstein files and stuff. There's been horrific things going on to children, the children of Earth. Even the animals have suffered, the women have suffered, the men have suffered. There's so many people and beings that have suffered. But we're here as light warriors. We are here strong enough because we're the ones to say no, that is we're not putting up with it anymore. And we're here making those changes right now. Like since we arrived on Earth, our energy alone has been saying no more and been making these changes and bridging in the angelic realms to Earth, bridging in heaven on Earth, bridging in Eden. And so it's important to remember your power, your strength, and to work on connecting to your divine higher power so that you can yourself, throughout your own vessel, have a stronger bridge to keep pulling that light in yourself so that all of us collectively together we can earth or birth Eden, the new earth, or like the original blueprint that earth was created as, and finally free all those that have had to suffer on this plane. And so what we both teach on our channels and in our own ways is how you can embody that within your own life and how you can do that. Um, so yeah.
Yes. Yeah, what a beautiful, yeah, beautiful speech, Aura. Um, it's hard to talk about these, like, denser things, but we have to, because that's the only way to hook them and release them. You
hmm
know,
hmm
they kept us, say, blinded for so long. Looking back at when you were more asleep, you're like, how did I not notice that? How did I not notice this? Even what happened in Iran. I mean, I just gotta send some love to that. The
hmm Yeah.
Ayatollah going down. It is epic, you all. It's huge. In case you don't know, I am a Trump supporter since 2020, and the way I knew that he was positive then was in 2020. I just had future visions of this time space when he was doing positive things, and it was tough because he was the world's hated man then, when I was saying that we had to go this way. But just looking at the releasement and the freedom of the throat chakra overall there, and the way that they were being masked,
hmm
that is, they weren't even Islamic, they were Muslim is it's a a religion made from the programming from the New World Order.
hmm
Okay,
hmm
so that's why they went in and took over all these countries, especially the sacred lands of Jerusalem and Egypt, because they wanted to move in with their inversions. So it is a big time to be celebrating, and that energy of the unicorn is what helped the Iranian ladies to be able to throw off those hijabs and burn them and get rid of them. I'm sure you've seen the videos of them getting married off at 6 and 8 years old and violated. I'm sure you have seen
Yeah.
the way they beat them and treat them worse than animals. So it's a time to rejoice and think about the positivities, just thinking about it just like a year from now. Could you even imagine a country, whichever it was going to be, a region of land, being able to become free and take off their hijabs? I know I couldn't quite. I
hmm
was like looking through the timelines. It's like, how do we get these females to stop being treated like slaves? And I have a very important series right now. It's called I found a Tartarian book. I can't remember what year it is, whether it's the early 1900s. You guys have to check it out. It's so big, and it's the white slave trade. Did you know that there's white slave trades? There's, say, a white girls from all over the world being traded as enslaved, and we
hmm
had to pass an act here in America because they were being treated like merchandise
hmm
wherever form. So now they do it hush hush. I was watching a video on TikTok where there was like kids screaming inside these truck kind of
Mm.
trailers. What are those?
Shipping containers.
Yeah, shipping containers.
Yeah.
Kids screaming in there. So they do it like that. But back then, when this book here, The War on White Slave Trade is called, you can find the digital copy on it, and it's called Fighting the Traffic in Young Girls,
hmm
or War on White Slave Trade. So it's its own, say, modern day enslavement. The way
Yeah.
that the Islamic women and children have been treated is modern day enslavement,
Yeah.
masked through a false religion who tells you
Yeah.
to hate.
Yeah. 1,000%. And it's brilliant to see. I it's brilliant to see them free, and I do hope that they get a graceful and easy transition now into having that freedom, and that the light is just here helping all of those that need the additional light and support just to get us to the place where we envision Earth to be, which is just everyone living in peace and bliss, and everyone gets their sovereignty, and everyone is just like free and safe, really. It's the most important thing.
So then, like, also like looking at it like through quantum physics, just
Hmm.
so we could see and we could always have that hope. Is
Yeah,
that, so think about last year and how you really perhaps we didn't see how these people could be free,
yeah,
right? And then think about it now, how they're free and they're unmasked and
yeah.
they're dancing and singing in the streets now. So think about how much vibration and energy needed to shift off and
Yeah,
delayer and transmute out of, say, Iran or this specific agenda. That is a huge amount
yeah.
of dark energy that would have been transmuted out for them to become free.
Hmm.
A curse, really, a removal for them, which is really a, if the curse really was removed
Yeah,
for them to become free, for them, that is. And we
yeah.
hope that then the rest of them could become free as well, and children will stop being, yeah, targeted like this.
Mm, wow. The true rise of the feminine, hey?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. And then
Um,
we do have questions, right? Or did you want to say anything else?
yeah, no, we'll answer questions that I was going to say as well. The Shakti on here is saying, I'm Iranian-born refugee in Northern Europe, and we're very glad. Um, the Ayatollah Khamenei never ever managed to speak proper Farsi that I understand, which is stupid. This is a divine timing to be alive, and people are just saying brilliant, like brilliant time to be alive. It's exciting times, really. So I feel like all religions we're going to see the crumbling of all of them. I feel like there's light in them in the sense that people find the divine through them. So that for me is good. I'm glad that you do that, but there's been so much infiltration into them that I feel like it's not just Islam. We're going to see the dark underbelly of all of them in the way that it's good, because it allows us to finally get rid of all of that that's not true about the paths to finding the divine, and then it allows for people to find the divine within themselves in their own unique way, in a way that is truth and light, and divinely supported, and not leading them down the wrong path, kind of thing.
Absolutely, yeah. And someone said the Abrahamic religion's gotta go, period.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I'm probably gonna start a series. I found a book of Persian men, the way that they were before,
yeah,
like the real Persian men. And I have another book that talks about how beautiful Egypt was, and it talks about a whole different era that is not like it is now. You know, when you
yeah.
go to Egypt now, there is a lot of sexual. Actually, there's females I know that just were walking and they constantly touch their areas, just walking. You know, little kids, older men. You know, there's no respect for women there. So I
Wow.
have a Tartarian book where I found where it talks about how beautiful it was and how these people were completely different just 100 years ago.
Mm,
Yeah,
wow.
so I'll probably be starting that series sometime in the
I
next
did
month.
actually have a question about
Yeah,
the slave trades in general.
yeah.
It's like, where do they, because in my mind, Tartaria was like 100 to 1 to 200 years ago, and I thought everyone was consciously like very connected, awake, and aware. So how are the people of Tartaria also at the same time people on Earth are doing the slave trade, or was it a lot earlier, or what?
Yeah, I'll have to get the book to find out, or I can look up the doc for that.
Like, could it be
Um,
two timelines of history, like two worlds that like conversed or something? I don't know.
well, so this is the difference, okay? They were very awake and aware. So when
Hmm.
you watch that series, which I have 2 episodes on it so far right now, is that they were fighting them. The people, even the way I found the book is because I can't remember right now, but he was either the secretary or something like that of Chicago, the man that was fighting against it. Okay.
Right, yeah.
And let me see here. And then what year was it? The Mann Act was passed in 1910. So he was the one that passed it, the Mann Act,
Yeah.
the man from this book that written this book, and the many men and women that got together in that time space. So yes, they were positive, they were trying to stop it, but there were some dark people here and there in different areas in the United States and also in your world too, who were starting. They were the beginning of the slave trade, but then it could also, slave trade could be trade hundreds of years even before that. But you could say that this is our closest time of human trafficking, slave trade. I could go get the book and you can keep
Yeah, because there
talking.
was actually a really beautiful like a small poem or a little prayer or something he'd written about the divine feminine or something, which was really nice about women.
Yeah,
You read it in the thing. If you find it, definitely read it out to us.
yeah,
But I suppose you could say it's kind of the same in the sense that with what's going on in like the underground with the slave keeping people as slaves, and like we would think that we are civilized, but then there's this whole other side to reality or humanity that's going on, kind of thing. Um,
yeah,
so
yeah.
someone was asking, does the full moon reveal entities in people more clearly? Is this moon specifically amplifying?
The full moon does. In a quantum physics level, what happens is that the full moon is at its full light and she magnetized. But we also have been seeing, it used to be that it was just a full moon, but we've also been seeing the new moon, how it magnetically pulls out density. That's what the moon is supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be, she magnetizes out through her magnetic field. And that's why she draws in water to her or draws us to her, is because she's pulling out the density that is not organic.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the
So
full,
his name was Ernest A. Bell.
okay.
Okay. And then, yeah, and then there was also Edwin W. Sims, and they were a big part of bringing that forth then, fighting it then. And he was a general. I think he was a general. Yeah. And I'll keep reading here and I'll let you know. Yeah, this was copyrighted. The book I found in, oh, I can't see it. It's too little. It's not, it's like faded on this digital copy. I have to go get it. Gina, write it in. If you could text me, what was the year that was made, if you find it. And then, yeah, like, are you talking about this poem? He wrote, to the army of loyal workers who, in the name of God and humanity, have enlisted in this holy war for the safety and purity of womanhood. Yeah, so that's the dedication to that.
Beautiful.
Okay, he was a United States District Attorney for Chicago. Yeah. And then I'll find out the year for you guys. I'll let you know what year that book was written, which puts us in Tartaria times.
And if you guys were interested, Aurora's actually read there's two videos now on this, isn't there, on your Rumble? So you
There
can
is.
actually watch the videos where she goes into more depth about all of this, reading different texts and explaining it a lot deeper. You can see pictures and things like that. You always manage to find books, postcards, like these treasures. Do you just kind of like go and visit every antique store that when you're in a town and you just manage to find them?
I don't, because antique stores are so vast, you'll be there a long time.
Yeah,
It's hard for me to be in that energy personally as a very strong empath.
yeah,
But I know how to handle it, you know.
yeah,
While I'm walking through an antique store, there's like little ghost kids trying to get freed, you know. There's like
yeah,
this
yeah,
trauma here, this everything carries the, you know, the memory and the
yeah.
residual energy. I'm
Mhm.
putting the picture of the book there on my Rumble. So no, I just intuitively, the angels guide me very much so, my higher self, and they tell me where I'm supposed to go and when.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, I probably wouldn't be able to do much because it's a lot. It takes up a
Yeah.
lot of time just to go into one.
Yeah.
And
Because
a
it's
lot of times what happens is like our videos, the way that Divine Mother and Father guide us, like we'll say
yeah.
something and then all of a sudden, like the postcard will mandala in. And
Yeah.
there it is. So the book was published 1909. So it would have been early Tartaria, a time where Tesla's at his peak,
Yeah.
bringing in the technology, and then we know he passed away. I think it was 1943, something like that. And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, with if you guys haven't seen any of Aurora's videos, she'll even like do a lot of research in between. Like she'll find a book in between that's like this amazing book, and she's like, right, guys, I need to show you this book. So you do so much, you put so much into these teaching calls that you do. It's almost like your life is its own divine algorithm, and like the same as when you're on like socials and you get shown videos that are really relevant, your whole life is just one divine synchronicity after another.
it is,
Yeah,
especially because of the love light shielding that I teach and shield myself with. And
yeah,
I'm very strong at not consenting to any AI or inversions or lies.
mm-hmm.
I don't have time for that nonsense.
Yeah,
So then when you vibrate, oscillate your vessel to that, then things just magnetically come to you.
mm-hmm.
That is meant to be divinely spoken. And I just kind of I not kind of, I do allow my vessel to be like a voice of love, raw love, truth for source and divine mother and father in the ways that they want to give me messages to deliver to the collective,
Mm-hmm.
which you do too, Aura.
Hee Yeah, if I think it's just when your actual intention to is pure, then it's just inevitable that that's how
Exactly.
you'll be. Um, do you want to have a look at some of the questions in case we've missed some on Rumble or
Yeah,
anything like that? Shall I
let's
pop
look at
up
the
the
questions.
I'll look at the chat. Someone was asking, when someone was asking about the moon, I was also going to add that when the moon is full, it can amplify energy as well. So when you say, can it show you demons clearer within people, it could almost amplify what is within everyone. And so if you've
Yeah,
got good energy, you can real charge with that light. And if you've got like negative energy in you, that's when people can turn into the lunatic, the word lunar coming from the word lunar being moon. Or
it's
people
true.
say you become a monster or a moon star. That's only when you haven't done the inner work, and then factually, like the police have to have more people on working on days when they have full moons, and the ambulances say they have more kind of like car crashes and stuff. It's the energies are more powerful, really, with the full moon. So. It's always good to be aware of that and yourself and the people that you're hanging around with on these holy days.
And if I may go into some science to
Yeah.
that, the sun and the moon, I have a short under my Rising Phoenix Mystery School channels, Wellness Center, where I explain how the sun and the moon are electrons. When you're looking at an atom, the sun and the moon are electrons. And factually, since they are crystals, plasmic crystals,
Yeah.
even our entire universe is made out of 99% plasma. Okay, so that's a
Yeah.
lot of plasma. So then the sun and the moon are made out of plasma. The moon is in our world, as we're learning from channeling Adolf Hitler, the World War II, the truth of what happened there, and that map that we referenced at the beginning. The moon is the moon. Let me try to remember here. Oh, so there's feminine and masculine. So like in our world, the father feels more masculine than the son, and then the moon feels grandmother moon female, right? Mother moon. But in Antarctica, it's the opposite, and they're the complete mirror.
Wow.
Even the current, right? Like how the water flows here, flows clockwise. In Antarctica, it flows counterclockwise when it goes down the drain. So then we're seeing the mirrors where mother and father are united through the sun and moon, and sun and the moon are crystals that are emitting out plasma, that plasma grows out from, and then they connect to all the future Earths where we have ascended out, where there's no AI, none of that archon that I go into my book 1 and 2. And so when we're seeing and feeling them either at their whatever phase they're at, we know that you're looking at the embodiments of future potentials of Earth, and you can connect to the future Earths that are positive, no density, ascended Earths through the moon. You could also even say the full moon is the future ascended Earth with no AI on her.
And filled with light.
Yes, filled with light, exactly.
Yeah. And do you get a 24-hour sun in Antarctica when you went? It's like, I think half the year is meant to be full sun and then half a year is full darkness.
There wasn't full dark. There wasn't like, it was a couple hours, so there was still. There was definitely more day and then a couple hours of darkness when I went. Yeah.
Okay. Someone was saying that they have been to Antarctica as a geologist, heavy restricted on travel and windows blacked out on plane. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, we did go through that. We did kind of go through that. Can't share the details, but we got out eventually.
Yeah. I was like, you could have been like a whole 6 months in like a new world and come back like, oh, I just went on a short trip, just touched down and came back, and then no one knows.
Right. Yeah. And time does go slower there. So, because you're closer to the crystalline energy dome.
Yeah.
So you're really there. I was looking at through the German Hitler moon reflection map that we found on archive. It tells you like the time construct. It is crazy how much of a difference. Like for example, I'm trying to pull it up here. So what happens is that like the other planets, time construct is more expanded. So what 1 year to us could be a long period for them. So even just like today to tomorrow is a long time. And sometimes your guides and your angels tell you like, oh, it's been so long since I talked to you. You're like, well, I just talked to you yesterday. Or I just talked to you an hour ago. But in reality, it is very, very long. I could look into, while you talk, I'll look at that data and give you like one star planet's example of time frame in comparison to what we're vibrating to here.
Yeah, Gina was saying as well that I think there's a full total lunar eclipse early in the AM tomorrow.
Ah, wow.
Which is pretty special.
It's very special, and special that we're here speaking about all this important information.
Someone was asking, are we possibly in one of the moon's craters?
So we're not exactly on the moon, though there are celestial bodies. So we're unified with the electrons that are, the sun and the moon. They're constantly keeping the electricity running through the crystalline energy above us into Earth. They're keeping that flow, the electricity running through, just like every atom of ours needs the electron running in the electricity. Without the electricity running through our body, we're not alive anymore, running through our heart, right? So what was the question? Are we
in one of the moon's craters?
So we're not in the crater, but on the moon's reflection, it looks like a crater.
Yeah.
It looks like a crater because it's a landmass, and it looks, say, darker like a landmass on the moon. That's what it projects out like.
Yeah.
So like, for example, okay, so looking at the moon's reflection map that we reference. Okay, so here on Earth, our sun, and it talks about like, these are wandering stars. They call it wandering stars, which are planets, we call them now. So like Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, right?
Yeah.
Venus, they vibrate. So, for example, let's just say Neptune. Okay, so Neptune's 1 year of Neptune, 1 year of Earth counts as 165 years of Neptune.
Mm-hmm.
165 years.
Mm-hmm.
1 year is 165 of Neptune. That's
Great.
365 years of days of ours in 1 year is
Yeah.
60,446 days in Neptune.
Wow.
Yeah, because again, time is stretched out because time is really non-existent, especially if you're in these wandering stars, planets inside of them.
Yeah.
So just to give you a time frame as far as the best that we could do as far as time construct between Earth and the stars, the wandering planets,
Mm-hmm.
stars.
You know how like the ancients used to live for thousands of years?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's because the Earth was at a different frequency, or do you think that's possible now at where we are right now if we was living in the right way?
They lived 1,000 years because they were breatharians and they
Yeah.
were high vibrational. So when they were in the 5 dimensional Earth, they would have been living, say,
Or
5 thousands of years, like we're seeing here. And then in 4D, they were starting to live like hundreds of years.
yeah.
Yeah,
Probably without all the poisons, we would live a bit longer.
absolutely. Which is another
Yeah.
thing, Aura. You'd freak out if you went to South America. You know how much you love raw food.
Yeah.
So like all the food there is not non-GMO. You know how they make their desserts and they like just like fruit and stuff, but they
Yeah.
do also do cook regular desserts. I know you're more vegan, raw, but they their sugar is flour made out of flowers. Flowers.
Really? Oh my
Everything's
gosh.
like all their sweeteners
Yeah.
are made out of flowers
Wow.
or cane sugar, which is not processed in any way, grown
Yeah.
from the field and plants.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a gorgeous photo of you on top of Mount Machu Picchu. Whoever took that photo, they need a raise or they
It
need a
was
job as a
Gina.
photographer.
Gina.
It
Gina
was
took
so
it.
nice. My
Thank
my
you.
ex my ex walked up Machu Picchu years ago and he was not like awakened or spiritual, nor was I at the time. And he like nearly passed out halfway needing oxygen tank or something to even get up there because the oxygen is so different.
It
And
is.
I believe that when you were breatharian, you may have lived up in the mountains in the higher places because the oxygen there is so nourishing. You get such a high content of it that you could actually probably survive a lot easier being breatharian when you've got such a rich oxygen environment. Did you feel like the energy was something else up there as well, or?
By the time I got to Machu Picchu, it was towards the end of my journey. I was like an all-star athlete running up the steps. So I didn't feel it. But the truth is at the beginning though, I went to I think it was Peru. The Rainbow Mountain, you've heard of that? With
Oh
the
wow,
Rainbow
yeah.
Mountain with the red. I went there and you do have to climb 16,000 feet.
Jesus.
Yes. It was five of us, two of us made it up. Can you guess, did I make it up?
Yeah, of course you did.
I made it up. So it was two of us who made it up. The rest couldn't. It was too tough.
Yeah.
It is a science
Hmm.
and an acclimation in your body that your lungs need to expand. So what's happening, like in Machu Picchu and all these different areas we speak about, it's a giant tree. Is what it is. It's like the most massive giant tree. All the like the Sacred Valley, Cusco, that giant tree you could ever imagine. And they're like
Hmm.
little pieces of the trunk, like little sharp pieces of the giant massive tree.
Wow.
So then is that you're climbing up, they say mountains or mounds or but you're really what's happening to your lungs is that they're crystallizing and they have to adjust to the altitude. They call it altitude, but it's really a higher level, like you said, of oxygen
Yeah.
that you're intaking. So then it is like you are truly on one of those floating cities.
Yes.
You are on a floating city. Machu Picchu is a floating city, like the Tartarian ones we speak about. So the fact that I made it 16,000 feet, and that was one of the toughest things I've ever seen done,
Hmm.
climbing up the stairs. Um, that was in itself, but you have to pace yourself and keep breathing and allowing for the oxygen to keep like
Yeah.
leveling up your lungs.
Yeah.
But you can pass out at any point though.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just giving me visuals of like with the floating cities, like breatharian and being able to fly even and just being able to access these higher places that you can't access if you haven't gained the spiritual mastery kind of thing. And for good reason, really. It's kind of the same as with, holy sites like stone circles and stuff. It's maybe a bit mean, but I would really love for us to be able to like say, only come in if you're not going to be talking shit and eating junk food, like eating ice cream on the stones. Like, only come in if you're going to come and like got good energy and you're here to respect the place and not run around being like silly or whatever. And it's almost like they need some kind of spiritual protection where it's like you won't be able to access this unless you can have the spiritual mastery to get there, kind of thing. And so, yeah, the whole like visualizing these cities in the clouds, it was just almost taking me back to this feeling or memory of like we will get there eventually when we get to that level of spiritual mastery again. Um, and I look forward to
It's so
it.
beautiful, but you know what's really cool is that the fact that South America has all these organic original seeds,
Yeah.
potatoes, and
Gosh.
yeah, and fruits, is
Yeah.
that you are technically healing your body if you get there before and you start eating their food.
Yeah.
You're eating really good food for some time before you get there, then you are preparing yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like there's two ways kind of you could go. Either you adjust to the oxygen, the altitude. The altitude is technically the energy of the tree that you're climbing up.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's her breath.
Hmm.
And it goes higher and higher and higher, adjusting to her. What happens is that either flow with it and let go of any fear or any worry or panic. But
Yeah.
if you panic, you probably are going to have an attack, an anxiety attack, and you could potentially then pass out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's about like just surrendering and soaking it in
Hmm.
and letting your body really is a form of type of ascension that you're going
Yeah.
through, like ascending, and then descending down again.
Yeah. It's can be difficult to do in the moment, really just like trusting that your body's capable and that you've got what you need to be supported when you really let go like that. Um, but you have to, because otherwise, like you say, it can cause issues if you can't let go and you're holding on to the fear and you've got the tension and then you're breathing shallow and then it all just becomes an issue kind of thing. But yeah, that's something that I'm finding more and more being called to is just really surrendering and trusting. I had a visual the other day, and then we will get back to the questions. I forgot I was reading them. It's like make it's important to make an actual like really practice of tuning into your higher self guides, the divine, like really building that bridge. We all come from the divine, so we're never really disconnected. But I was almost seeing it like, how you can get neurons that fire a certain way and they're used to firing a certain way. So you automatically think a certain way and that's what happens. Well, when you want to start connecting more to your higher self and God, if that's not natural to you and that's not what you usually do, then you need to practice creating the neurons to fire that way towards God and towards your divine connection. So if at first you're like, I feel disconnected. Why aren't I receiving my guidance? Or why can't I feel like my angels or I'm supported divinely? It could just be that you need to practice firing those neurons or creating that energetic bridge and connection stronger. And then it naturally flows more. And it can actually be for me. What I've found is it actually is a physical thing that you need to work on and build that bridge to if you didn't have it naturally. If for some reason you've been too scared to turn to the divine or not known that the divine was even accessible to you for so long in your life, then you might actually need to just every single day work towards building that bridge and then it gets easier and more clear and then it becomes the natural way that things flow back and forth. You just have this full divine connection. It strengthens the bridge really. So
Yeah, beautiful. And did we answer this question? Someone said, does the sun give electrons and the moon take them away? I don't think we answered that one. Does the sun give the sun? So the sun and the moon are electrons, are the electrons. So they're constantly giving out the electricity. Now, the difference between the moon is that I have to look at a picture of an atom. Depending on where on Earth we're speaking about, whether you're the inside where we're at or the outside Antarctica, the answer could be different. But I will just answer inside. So the sun is always projecting energy out, but so is the moon. But she's basically pulling out the, like I said, the density and the inversions. So it's not that she wouldn't be taking away electrons. She is electrons. She's just taking out the density in the AI. She's pulling it out. Does that make sense?
1,000%.
Yeah. Say that again?
Yeah, 1,000%.
Okay, cool. And then someone said, when a loved one passes, where do they go? I think that's a good question to answer. I actually have another short video on that under my Rising Phoenix Mystery School Wellness Center. And we talk about how they become spiritual guides. They're so important. We have no idea how important they are. A lot of people who I've talked to had a grandma pass away, a mother pass away, someone important to them.
Yeah.
Or even if maybe they didn't have the best relationship, when they were alive, and they become your guardian, your protector, and your guide, and they're that little voice that guides you. So if you do have, a grandpa that passed away and that meant something to you, do talk to them. Every day they will be your guides, guiding you. And it's even easier for them to help communicate to you because they were in a physical vessel next to you. They grew up with you. They were in your life. And they will be so much easier to hear versus like an angel's, really high dimensional God, but we can still hear them within, but they're easier to hear in the density.
When people cross out of this matrix, what are your thoughts on whether you're going to go back into reincarnation or whether you go to a kind of a reality that's better than this, or like what have you learned actually happens to people when they do like pass out of the body here?
Well, I also have a video, again, one of those shorts that speaks about, some people say that the moon traps you, which is false. You're really disrespecting, especially if you're indigenous. You remember indigenous life, Grandmother Moon is a celestial body, so you don't want to be disrespecting her like that. But with that is that it depends on what density you are ascending down. As I speak in my book 1 and book 2 about the AI matrix, what can happen is if you have too much trauma, you're not a matching vibration to ascension, which you would have to be a matching vibration to 5D and on to ascend out, that you do get recycled back into the AI matrix. And that's a long story. You can read it in 900 pages of my book 1 and 2, where we explain these matrices. Yeah.
Let's say it's just your grandma then, because my grandma never really woke up spiritually. Like she was a good woman, really. Like she wasn't doing anything like horrible or whatever, but she might not have known about, say, attachments or things like that. And so just say your family members and stuff, is it most likely that people are going to ascend up to 5D anyway? Like, does it take quite a lot to not be able to do that? Or do we want to be like, say in prayers for when our family members pass over, or doing our own energy work on them whilst they're here, or what kind of things would you advise?
So it depends, like, was she pure intended? Did she mean ill intent towards people? If she was pure intended, but she didn't become spiritual like us. They don't need to be spiritual like us.
Yeah.
They could just be pure intended souls, like they just don't mean harm to others. Then that makes you a matching vibration to ascension. So then she could have ascended. Now we also teach, like, if you did have loved ones that passed on and maybe they had some attachments and they were passing on, You know, some people could have died from illnesses and disease and cancer and so on. They would have had a lot of attachments and, you know, in the body. So then in that, we teach you how to go back to the time space with their higher self's permission and
Yeah.
basically do like a Reiki on them in their body in their last breaths before they take the breath out. You help them remove all their attachments and then they're able to release and ascend out. Because you can bilocate anytime in your body to different eras so long as you're in this body.
That's a brilliant idea. Love that.
Yeah,
So someone was asking, is the moon even organic to Mother Earth? Which I think
of course she is.
you've said anyway.
Yeah, in the video, in the short video, I talk about that if she was imbalanced, then we would self-destruct.
Hmm.
Every atom needs its electrons flowing in, the electricity, the energy. The
Yeah.
electricity is the lightning of source that gives life force. And it's also a lot of what photons are made out of through science. Photons are the communications of light.
Hmm.
They move incredibly fast, the speed of light, you can't really see them. So the sun and the moon are photons of high potence of photons of energy of light that so if you distort that and say if you really believe those inverted stories that they talk about the moon especially, that's a way to violate grandmother moon, mother and mother, divine mother,
Yeah.
if you believe that. And then you place yourself in AI inverted matrices when you believe that the moon is inverted because that's what they want you to do. They
Hmm.
want you to believe that she's inverted because then you give consent to being placed in an inverted matrix, which is an artificial womb and AI system. So there's no way she can, otherwise we wouldn't be alive.
Hmm.
There's no way.
And it's kind of it.
The electrons destroys, if it destroys and it's imbalanced and self-destructs like the moon, or it's inverted or dense, then so would we. We wouldn't be
Yes.
able to be stable, a stable construct.
Yeah. Yeah. How do the Abrahamic religions go? How do we start purging them out?
The religions, period, or yeah.
That's what the question says. I
Just
personally feel
yeah,
like they're gonna show themselves out. So in my in my view, the best place we can start is by doing our own internal work, and just doing that shifts so much in our own personal life and then the people that we're connected to and then the world itself and the whole of this reality. We're already watching these religions like show themselves up, and we're really already finding out about what's really been going on. And it's almost that whole thing where truth doesn't have to defend itself. Like it's like a lion or something. It's always loud enough and strong enough that it will always prevail. And so just the fact alone that the truth is coming out will be their downfall, really.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone says, is the Earth 2D?
Okay, so 2D is the foundation of all the elemental energy. So is it 2D? Yes, at the foundation, but it's the very like the 1D and the 2D make up all the material. It's like your ingredients. If you're making a soup, all your different ingredients, and then you put them in, and then they make a whole soup. So in this perspective, they make a whole earth.
Hmm.
So is it fully 2D? No, we wouldn't be able to have communal life in a 2D construct. So it's not 2D. It's factually, I mean, she's 5D, but with a sorry, there's a package being delivered. So it is 2D at the elemental, but it's really 5D with a 3D, 4D overlay over it. So it's like an onion layer.
Hmm. Brilliant. Do you mind if I like reel off some comments? Because we've got quite a few.
Yeah, read some
I
comments off,
just,
and we
yeah.
should finish off the video with one of your songs.
Oh my gosh.
Your new album. What's
Yeah,
up?
okay. We'll have to figure out how to do it where you can hear it properly. Because remember last time it
Ah,
was like, um, but yeah, or we could just tell people where to listen to them if it's not coming through. Great. I'll read some of these off. Feel free
Hmm.
to add anything. So someone says the moon is a plasma X-ray of our flat plane. It's an X-ray of our plane, possibly millions of miles wide. Our plane can be seen.
Yeah, it's good. That's a good comment. Yeah.
Each one of the craters on the moon is a different world on our plane.
Yes.
Our star Polaris is imprinted on the moon as a crater.
Yes, it is.
The constellations are imprinted on the moon as craters.
Hmm.
That's interesting. The sun converts infinite energy from counter space. The South Pole on Antarctica is perfectly centered in the sky, could possibly be the center of our flat plane. I think that's the North Pole, isn't it?
Yes, North Pole.
Someone said amen to us speaking of living more free and being grateful. And was talking about Pachamama when you were talking about
Ah,
the Divine Mother. Um,
Pachamama. That's right.
mhm. Someone says so much history is hidden from us and distorted. That's why you need to become friends with the Galactic historian. Very interesting time to be alive. The files, etc., are just their energy harvesting agendas, same as sport. I never want near them. Um, Someone says this is a divine timing to be alive. I'm following both of you, divine feminine queens. I'm so looking forward to my first fast of the year. This winter had me reaching for the biscuits.
Yeah.
Um, and someone said, I died and came back in 2020, 2015. And as I died, everything turned to waves, particles of gold flowing around. And I went to the angelic realm. I remember seeing angels looking at me as I was transitioning. That's nice, isn't it?
That's beautiful. That's exactly when I see energy, like at its purest. That's how I see it. It's a good
Yeah.
example of how you explained it.
Yeah. Antarctica and the treaty that involves it being part of an inverted matrix, you have to match the vibration of the crystalline energy there. Oh, wait.
That's okay. That's
These
notes.
thoughts are these thoughts from what we've
Those
said.
are highlights. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. So
perfect.
those are all the comments from the people.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. It's always, I apologize that we aren't able to kind of like keep on top of them as we chat, but it's really nice to hear your thoughts as well and to get such amazing questions and insights that allow us to expand further in the research that we've been doing. And it's so nice to hear back from you guys as well. So thank you for being here, really, and for having a beautiful energy and
Yes.
sharing this space with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
So
beautiful to be here.
we could try one of my songs, or
Yeah.
we
Put
could.
it on. Come on.
What I'll do is I'll maybe share my sound on here so it will hopefully play okay for you on there.
Yeah.
And
Let's
then
try
it'll
that.
just hopefully play okay on TikTok as well.
Okay.
I'm going to put Plant a Seed on and I'll just explain. It's my favorite song of the album. It's quite a chilled one, really, but it was inspired by a past life regression and one where I was a singer in that life. And I ended up having being in an abusive relationship, really, and singing was the only way that I felt I would. I felt close to like the divine is like singing and just escaping through that energy. And in that lifetime, I ended up being killed and attacked in my throat. And so in this lifetime, when I would try and record my songs and stuff, I felt like I had a really like angry, horrible energy that kept stopping me from trying to sing and record my songs. And I kept thinking that I was being attacked every time. I was like, someone's psychic attacking me, someone doesn't want me to do music or whatever it is. I thought someone's jealous in the cosmos and they're attacking me every time. I can't believe it. And I would fight this bad energy. And then when I really did a past life regression and I found this version of myself that was just wounded because she was scared because she'd got killed through like being strangled, and it was all about her doing music and stuff. I was like, wow, I just needed to heal this part of myself and give her love and teach her that she's safe now. She doesn't have to keep holding on to that same fear. And then it was all gone. And then this whole album flowed out of me. Thanks as well to
Wow.
the live retreat I did with AuroRa, because they were singing nonstop, and that actually activated me as well. So I'll see if I can play the song.
Yeah. We love to
And
sing.
yes, and you're a good singer as well.
Thank you. Maybe we'll record a soundtrack together, like a
Yeah.
solo, like what is it called? A single.
Yes.
Let me know, I'm
Yeah.
there.
Okay. Do you think I can share my like screen and sound on our Zoom
You
call?
should be able to let you.
I'm
Let me
just
see.
gonna unplug my headphone.
I'll make you co-host, but you're already on there. It should let you know. Make sure you hit subscribe, heart. Give us some hearts on TikTok and Rumble now. And we're typically here every Monday, first Monday.
I've met myself before, and every way I'm finding more light from another life. Still the wisdom stands on the edge of a knife. And I'll grow a thorn in the rose, There's a couple of memories I could forget, happy to erase them out of my head. And I am free, the way that I wished I could be. Oh, so worth it, though it wasn't always easy. What will grow if you just plant a seed? I can smell the pine trees, I can taste the warmth of cinnamon. I'm ready for the love, I'm focused on the here, and life slows down. Every time I sing, I hear God's call. In the stillness of forever, I become it all. And I feel true joy, I'm so grateful. And I'll grow the thorn in the rose. There's a couple of people I could forget, happy to erase them out of my head. And I am free, the way that I wished I could be. Oh, so just plant a seed. Oh, just plant the seed. Oh, if you plant the seed, you never know what will grow.
Beautiful.
Yay. Mega. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yes. Yay. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, you can hear my music on any of the streaming platforms or go on YouTube, or even if you wanted to download it, you can go and get it on my website as well. It's been a blessing to spend time with you guys again. I can't believe this is our 5th episode. We'll see you next time, but it's going to be on April the 13th, isn't it? Next time.
13th, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All
So,
right.
yeah. Thank you so much and have a God ray, guys.
Thank you,
See you
everyone.
soon.
Love you, honor you, respect you.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
I give thanks.